Only trouble is, non-attendance rate increased to 40, sometimes 50% depending on the weather. Now, having 100 people signed up with 60 people on the wait list and only 40 people turn up or 50 people turn up is unsustainable. But of course, I had an idea, right? I was like, I know, we're going to run a co-design workshop with our community, and they're going to tell us what they want, and we're just going to execute that. And that is probably the turning point for us. That is where things changed. Because instead of continuing on the execution treadmill, we stopped and listened and unpacked and challenged and reframed and synthesized insights, not ideas. In the sort of constant need that we feel to deliver stuff, we tend to forget why we're doing them. And frankly, CX is reasonably unsuited to deliver stuff. I'm talking specifically tangible products and services here. What CX is really good for is structuring and focusing our thinking without preempting an outcome. What CX is really good for is helping us develop mindsets. And you've got mindsets. I can't touch that. I can't sell that. But here's the thing, look at it differently. Mindsets shape behaviors. Behaviors create outputs. Outputs collectively create outcomes. Look at customer experience as the first link in a chain of initiatives that actually drive the change. You can't do it without CX, but CX is not the sole vehicle that will get you there. So, and then once, I guess, you've figured out what you want to do, then go and fail your heart out. Because you know what you do and why, and you're only iterating on the how. For us, the key insight, which was narrow but deep, was that the reason our practice is largely immature, fragmented, practiced very inconsistently, is not because the people are not smart enough to get it, or because they're too afraid to get it. It's because they have nowhere to go and get it. So once we understood that what we needed was a professional home for our practice, everything changed. We then started understanding what that home looked like. A home where you can nurture your practice, reconnect with fellow practitioners, experiment safely. So you can go back to your boss and say, you know what, that journey map ain't working that way. This is how we're going to have to do it. Or actually, I need these 3 stakeholders in the room, otherwise we won't gain traction. You need to be able to have those conversations confidently. You want to experiment with what you know and don't know in a safe space. And we haven't had that to date. So that's what we've been trying to create with the CX Collective. So effectively, we understood that we had the insight. We shaped that insight to become something really meaningful. And then we go, okay, what's next? Community. That is what we rally around. That is what we deliver. This is what we promise. And this is what we don't compromise on. A single-minded experience proposition of community is the thing that we use, the benchmark that we use to say, this newsletter that we're going to send out, is this going to create community, or is this going to fragment our community? This website that we're building, is the language a language that encourages community and caring, or is it a language that fragments? If the answer is not community, we're not doing it. What an organizational mindset also does is help you create an organizational vision. For us, it is an organizational vision to hold space. Space for a community of peers who help organizations shift focus from profit to people. This is at its core what our practice is about, people. And as an organization supporting our people, we have to hold space for that. What we did in hindsight, by chance rather than by design, but I'll share that with you, so maybe that will be your foresight, is that we actually co-designed our vision with our customers through that co-design workshop. when customers help you shape your vision, they are revealing theirs. And that enables you to embed your vision with theirs, to extend your vision into theirs, to augment your vision with their vision. In any case, you have an aligned vision, which means that you are embedding yourselves in people's lives, not through a AI customer service function. Because you are aligned on vision and values, you are aligned on deeply human traits. I had a conversation today about the value of co-design. This is it. Benefits of an insights-based approach is also that you discover language of your customers. Language that is authentic to them, not to you. When we think about the stages of a journey, we often use our language to describe their journey. That's really inauthentic. A customer's never going to talk about an allocation of a service provider. They probably talk about solving a problem, or they might be talking about getting help. Talking about things differently creates different outcomes, or creates different behaviours that will lead to different outcomes. For us, we needed a language that would help us live our vision authentically and bring the single-minded experience proposition of community to life. This is where experience principles come in for us. So you've seen briefly connect, play, and learn. There are 3 experience principles for us that we use to bring community, that singular vision to life. And these 3 things are shaped really consciously. So they are insights, not ideas. They've been discovered, not assumed. They inspire action, and the action that we take based on those design principles can be traced back in their logic right back to the insights that we uncovered during the co-design workshop. So from that singular insight that we needed to create a professional home for our community came more than we could have ever asked for, because not only did it shape our thinking, it also informed our action. It structured it, it directed it, it prioritized it. And then when it comes to execution, we got all the help we could get, because frankly, execution is damn hard. So the first thing that we did was to talk to our brand partner Saturday and say, hey guys, we're doing this thing, and we're trying to start an industry network, and this is what our people need, and we need a brand identity. And they're like, awesome. What we gave them was not ideas about the brand identity we wanted, what it should show, what it should communicate, how it should look. They're the experts. We're not going to tell them how to suck eggs. What we did was gave them our insights and said, this is our community, raw, in its purest human need. What can you develop to make them feel like they belong? And this is what they came up with. And I think that personally, I think it's a piece of magic, but it might be subjective. It might be biased. They incorporated everything that they heard and seen into a brand mark that we wear proudly, that aligns us, and that makes our experience really tangible. People know when they see this, they think community, they think learning, they think collaboration, they think I belong. I guess the thing about brand is really that we tend to see it as this pretty thing that sits on top of our shop front, on our letterhead, the thing that we just stand out. Brand makes us recognizable. Brand gives us reputation. Brand makes us accessible for customers because it makes us tangible. So if our brand identity or our brand promise and our customer experience vision don't align, we're in trouble. So I'd strongly suggest that you have a look to see if what you're promising at a CX level aligns or integrates with what you're promising at a brand level. Because internally, on the flip side, brand can act as a quality assurance mechanism. When you have a framework within which to design, you design better. If I have a brand experience or brand identity that I deliver against, I have my experience design playground cut out for me. and I'll know that I design in a way that aligns with what we're trying to deliver. But if your brand is something that you've come up with in an executive steering committee, because that's what the top guys and gals want your organisation to deliver, it's really, really hard at a customer experience level to then go, how do I align what my customer wants with what my business wants? So that's a core alignment point. What you see here are what we call experience artifacts. And these are outputs, right? They help customers access our brand, they help customers access our experience, and these are things you want to fail on, these are things you want to iterate, these are things you can sprint through, time box, agile execute against. Because at that point you know what you're doing and why you're doing it. And you want to get these right eventually, but they don't even start off right at the beginning. Like I remember us offering a live stream out, and the live stream technology was like so. I also remember sending out my first newsletter, and I'm not a marketeer, so me and MailChimp are not a natural fit. And so I sent out the marketing newsletter to the wrong group of people, the wrong segmentation. Some people got the newsletter twice. I'm like, oh my god, they're going to hate me. But they didn't. They were really forgiving. We have a vision, and we have a rock star brand identity. We need a business model. How else are we going to deliver? I have a problem with the language around business model, because the implied question that the term business model implies is how might we organise ourselves in order for us to be more efficient, more productive, drive bottom line, whatever it is. At the Collective, we talk about an experience delivery framework. What is our experience delivery framework? And the reason we are saying that is because it implies the following question. How might we have to organise ourselves in order for our customers to access or consume what we've promised them? It's a fundamentally different way of thinking, and therefore a fundamentally different way of ideating around it. Now, the business model that works for us is a membership organisation. We have annual members, casual members, and visitors. Annual members are all in, they're really committed to their learning, they pay us an annual membership fee, they come along to our free events, and then they get invitations to bespoke, curated learning opportunities that are right for them. We've got our casual members come along to one of our events. They sort of come along when they hear something interesting. Like in a couple of weeks we're doing Customer Journey Mapping 2.0, and whoever wants to know that comes along to them. Last month we did an ideation session with Vector around the future of energy. If you're into energy, you come along, right? And then there's a third sort of group of people who, for whatever reason, can't or won't be in the room. And they still get access to learning, because why wouldn't they? And they're still part of the community, and they can still be part of the conversation. But most importantly, what this model allows us to achieve is threefold. There is no hierarchy, and we promote no hierarchy within a community, because the community is not about hierarchy, it's about inclusivity, right? So we have no gold, silver, platinum. You're in or you're out, and it's your choice to what extent you're in. It also means that we can respect individual needs that differ, while recognising our collective interdependence for success of our practice, success of our outputs. And thirdly, it means that we can live community authentically. If we promise an experience of community, but we behave like a dictator, well, that's not going to work well, is it? This model keeps us to task. It makes sure that what we do and how we do it is aligned with what we say we will. To make customer experience tangible and impactful, we need to be clear about what we are seeking for others to experience. And we have to set ourselves up for success by starting with mindsets. This is just reiterating what I talked to you earlier about mindsets shape behaviours, behaviours drive outputs, outputs collectively create outcomes. I'm not going to go mindsets and outputs, but I want to touch on outcomes, because that is something that we're really proud of. We're really proud of the fact that we have, as a small 3-month-old organisation, have found alignment with over 15 of New Zealand's largest corporates in values and in vision. Our customers are our community and we are part of that. It's not an us versus them. We don't push information to them and hope for a return. We are talking with one another, not to one another. Our reach is extending well beyond Auckland, and we've got requests to set up chapters around the country. We've got requests for hosting us that goes well into 2020. We're not even through halfway 2019. People want to do business with us, people want to engage with our brand, and people pay for what we have to offer, gladly. And we're very transparent about what we charge for and what we don't charge for. We don't charge for learning. We charge for a sense of community and belonging. Because that is not something you just get, because it needs to be curated. And people respect that and accept that, and so they pay for it. So talking about impact, really, when we think about impact at a mindset level, our community has not just understood, but adopted the mindset of taking ownership of their own learning journey. As a community, we deliver value, and whoever's in the community or engages with the community receives and feels value. Collectively, we're embarking on a journey towards creating a legacy for our industry. We're putting customer experience on the map as an industry, deliberately, formally, tangibly, and sustainably. So coming back to our initial questions, how do we start with customer experience? How do we deliver value, or communicate that we can deliver value? And how do we change culture? It does start with insights. Do the thinking and do it well. Curate your insights, not ideas. Insights, reflecting the subjective truths of your customers. And then you use that to guide and shape your organisation in the pursuit of being the best you possibly can be at what you promised you would do. Thank you.